reside currently. We gon' teach you how to compound it while you earning it. It's that new type of money. That's a different type of currency. You can be your own bank and take your time while you learning it. Where you got to be is not where you reside currently. We gon' teach you how to compound it while you earning it. It's that new type of money. It's that new king currency. Hey, first of all, let me tell you about the business. Mr. Jerry D. Rogers, he the one that had the vision.
What's up? What's up? What's up? This your boy, Coach Green. We're talking 2 million families and financially. How many of y'all like being broke? Don't mess with me. With the strategies. What's up? What's up? What's up? This is your boy, Coach Green, talking green with Green on a Thursday night. So excited to be with you, coming live from Tallahassee, Florida. And I wanted to talk to you about something called the Be Your Own Bank movement, the Be Your Own Bank movement worldwide. I wanted to share information with you because I believe that this is something that everybody and anybody who's under the sound of my voice needs to understand, be a part of, become a part of this movement, because it literally can change your life forever. We're coming up on Juneteenth, and Juneteenth, as we know, is the when the last of the slaves were freed in Texas. They got the word in Texas, and so this is a big weekend to celebrate freedom. But the freedom I'm talking about is the freedom from your situation, the freedom from your circumstances, the freedom from your situationships, right? And so it's about, do you understand that you literally have the ability to be your own bank? Do you understand that you have the ability to be your own bank? And why is that? It's because a lot of people, as you probably know, we go to work every single day. We do the things that we were supposed to do growing up. We all taught to go to school, get good grades, and go to college and get that degree. But the thing that I realized by being in that particular system and seeing a lot of people in that system is that there's not anybody that I know that guess what? That plan seems to bring wealth to them, right? And I'm talking about the 40 plans, working 40 years, working 40 hours a week, and then trying to retire and live off of 40% of your income. There isn't anyone I know that has made that formula work for them in order to become financially successful. And so I believe it's because what happens is we need to understand that there's a paradigm shift that has to happen. And that paradigm shift that has to happen is it's all about, what are you being educated upon? Where are you getting your information of how do you create wealth, right? See, what happens is we really learn the system of how to just kind of keep our head above water, right? How to make $1 out of 15 cents, right? That's what we typically are educated upon. That's why we end up living a lot of times paycheck to paycheck. And all I mean by that is, when you think about it, is we typically work jobs, and those jobs pay us. And a lot of times we can, once we get paid on Friday, you hopefully hope that you can make it to 2 Fridays from there, right? But we now live in a space where inflation is going up, prices are going up, and now people are having a situation where they live in paycheck to Monday, right? They get paid on Friday, they pay some bills over the weekend, and by Monday, all the money is gone. All the money is gone, right? So that is the key, is that you got to understand, what are you doing to try to change that paradigm? So, but you have to get educated, right? Get educated on more information. And all I'm saying to you tonight is, if the path that you're on right now isn't working, if you realize that just going to work, doing what you're doing right now is not putting the number that you want to have in your bank account, if it's not there, then I'm telling you right now, you have to be open to getting some new information. That new information is, first of all, you got to understand how you currently get paid. Right now, you're literally getting paid one of these 2 different ways primarily, but you got to understand you need to be getting paid the other 2 ways. The 2 ways on the left is what we call the E and the S quadrant. This is a cash flow quadrant called ESBI, an employee, a self-employed person, a business owner, or an investor. People who are on the left side of the quadrant, they have a lot of they don't have a lot of time, and they also don't have a lot of money. That's because as an employee, they have a job. And when you have a job, you tend to find yourself on that treadmill, right? You're kind of going to work, every single day, trying to keep up with the bills, et cetera, et cetera. Then people say, well, after they get out of the job space, they become self-employed, which means eventually they own a job. So now, they have whatever it is that they decide they're going to do, but they don't really have a lot of time in that space because guess what? When you are the person who has to be there to make the thing happen or whatever, now all of your time is taken up because now you got to be there. So the first one is a person that is an E, an employee, they work for somebody else. But then the person that's an S, they literally what? They own a job. But the thing I want you to understand is when you're on the left side of the quadrant, that's what 95% of the population is. And 95% of the population has always fought for 5% of the wealth. 95% of the population has always fought for 5% of the wealth. But when you're on the right side of the quadrant allows you to become a business owner. Owning a business, you got stability, you got spare time, but more importantly, where you want to get to is you want to become an investor where your money starts working for you. See, when you're on the right side of that quadrant, now you become part of the 5% of the population that's controlling 95% of the wealth. Become part of the 5% of the population controlling 95% of the wealth. So how do you do that? You want to go from fighting for 5% to controlling 95%. But the only way you can do that is you have to be introduced to wealth industries, wealth spaces. In 3 of the largest financial markets in the world is the Forex market, the credit market, and the real estate market. Foreign exchange market is a $6.6 trillion a day industry. $6.6 trillion a day moves through the foreign exchange market by people buying, selling, and exchanging currencies. The second thing is the credit market, $119 trillion. That's important because credit is actually what gives you your financial leverage. This is where your financial leverage comes from. And then last but not least, there's real estate, $3.69 trillion a year worldwide made through real estate. And anybody who has a serious portfolio out there, anybody who has a serious wealth portfolio, they always have real estate as a part of it. So why do I say that? My point is, if you're trying to become wealthy, not just trying to make it, not just even trying to become rich, because even rich people, the problem that they have ultimately is that they're still trading time for dollars. But when you get to a point where now you can start having your dollars make money, when you get to a point where you don't have to leave your house and you can make money, when you get to the place where now you can start using other people's money to make money through the credit industry, now you're playing the game the way that the big boys play the game. So my point is, the first thing is you got to be willing to open your eyes and realize that you got to change that narrative of how you get paid in the first place. You got to be you got to be open to be educated in a different space. That's first and foremost. The second thing is you have to understand how you're currently being paid. As an E or S, an employee or a self-employed person who's on that left side of the quadrant where 95% of the population is fighting for 5% of the wealth. But you want to get to the right side of the quadrant, become a business owner, but more importantly, become an investor where now you become a part of the 5% that is controlling 95% of the wealth. So once you understand where you are and where you want to go, now it's a matter of what do I need to do and how can I get there? And that's how you get involved with these particular wealth industries, like I just stated. And those wealth industries that I just talked about, like I said, Forex, 6.6 trillion, the credit market, 119 trillion, and then of course the real estate market, $3.6 trillion. So it's time for you to take control, right? What is your plan? You don't want life to control you. You want to start taking control of your life. And how do you take control of your life? I want you to go down here and I want you to register for the next webinar. The next webinar at the BYOB movement worldwide.com. You want to get on there. You want to see what it is we're talking about. You want to see how you can take advantage of these 3 wealth industries, multi-trillion-dollar industry that you can get involved in today. And guess what? You can get some of the crumbs off of that $1 trillion. And the crumbs off of $1 trillion, it will make a buffet for most people. So I'm so glad you guys decided to join me this evening. For those who tuned in, I want to say to you today, you can be your own bank. But first of all, you got to learn how to think like a bank. You got to start acting like a bank. And then you can be your own bank. Thanks for joining me. This is your boy, Coach Green with Green. Hey, be your own bank, baby. Peace.